Hey there, how are we all? Hope everyone's having a good week so far. Today, just doing a quick all signs check-in with career and finances. We'll just let everyone know if you do leave a comment on one of my videos, you will go in the draw for a free personal reading. I will be drawing that when we get to our first 100 subscribers. So slowly getting there, guys. I really do appreciate all your support so far. Those likes and subscribes really do mean the world to me. Obviously, such a small channel. We really want to grow a little bit so that those messages can get to everybody that needs to hear them. But today I'm actually using the 7th Seal Lenormand deck for our reading. You will see me taking timestamps, of course, as always. And we do have the Soul's Journey lesson cards as well. So I'll be starting the readings with those. But like I said, just a quick reading today, a bit of a check-in, see how everything's going. But we'll start off today with Aries. How are we, Aries? Just taking those timestamps, sorry. So starting off there, we'll just grab you a card to sort of see what the general overview of what's going on for you with career and finances. Aries, career and finances, please. Okay, we have the growth card. So always a positive start when we see that one. I want to expand my consciousness and my awareness. So coming into a period of growth, either within your career or with that money. We all like to hear that, don't we, Aries? But we'll sort of have a quick look here and see what is going on for you within your career, employment, whatever that means to you. Okay, I know I understand a lot of people are in all different, career paths, and even if you're not working, it can sort of sometimes show up things that are coming in for you, or whatever work means to you, even if you're not working. So, I'm a mother, so a lot of the time work for me can be that just general day-to-day monotony of motherhood, but also obviously doing the readings. Even though it's not a monetized channel, I do consider that, my service, I suppose. So see how we go. Okay, so starting off with career for Aries. Career for Aries, please. And can we just clarify that third card, please, for Aries? Okay, and 2 for finances specifically. And then clarifying that second card, needing some extra clarification for you today, Aries. Okay, so within your career, first and foremost, we do have the fish. Okay, so that does talk about abundance, wealth, finances. So, definitely, one of the most favored cards to be seeing when we are doing a career and finances reading. Definitely a lot of abundance, a lot of options, I feel, when it comes to career stuff for you, Aries. So you may have multiple job offers even. You may be, experiencing a workplace where you have an opportunity to, learn lots of different things within different areas, but a lot of room for expansion with that card as well. So you can sort of expand out into different areas, but just generally abundance. So it's a beautiful card to be seeing for career options, because it just shows us that, you do have that opportunity to make a lot of money in the future with your career, path at the moment. We do also see the scythe coming through. So there is some sudden changes coming through for you, Aries. I do feel as though, with the fish as the guideline card, and then I do have the tower, which was clarified by the clouds. All right. So I feel as though these sudden changes have actually got to do with past. All right. So the Tower sometimes can talk about things from the past, the foundations that we've laid within our career. And then with the Clouds, your thoughts being quite heavy on that. You're overthinking things a little bit, maybe even a little bit anxious that, that something with the Scythe, I feel as though the anxiety, the overthinking is that, things might happen the way that they've happened in the past. We may have made some, bad choices with career or finances in the past, and we're sort of worried that they're going to come around, and we're going to go through the exact same situation all over again in this current career path. But I do feel with the Fish there that that's not really a concern with the Fish. And then we also had that that growth card. So this is actually growing to a different path to what you may have experienced in the past with career. All right, so I feel like you're kind of overthinking it a little bit there. So maybe not needing to overthink it quite as much as what you are, but you are having some sudden unexpected changes. So things that, foundations that you may have laid in the past when it comes to your career, it does feel like they're suddenly sort of coming into fruition. They're suddenly, changing your perspective on the current career situation. So, I feel as though, doing things out of overthinking may actually create more problems for you, Aries. And having to sort of deal with sudden changes within the workplace as well. There definitely is some sort of foundation from your past. So you may have done things, I'm just sort of thinking, like in the career sense of that, if there's a certain way of doing things, a certain procedure to do things within your job or your career, and there's a sudden unexpected change, and all of a sudden you're having to throw out all those foundations that you've built learning how to do that thing, and all of a sudden we're having to do it in a whole new way. So a lot of the time we are looking at things like new programs coming into your systems, new procedures coming through, those sorts of things as well. It could just be, for a lot of you, it could be things like, a new management. I'm getting the vibe of that kind of thing as well. So we are just looking at some sort of unexpected change. Like I don't feel as though it's like and there's no sort of clear risk of ending or anything like that. I feel as though you are heading into further growth and expansion anyway. So you will be able to deal with these changes when they do occur. It's just a matter of just being careful not to overthink things, and sort of if this past procedures that you have sort of been used to, don't overthink them and go the long way around when it comes to your career. Try to focus on, just doing things quickly. The Scythe really does have a quick sort of energy. So we're sort of really focusing on things that are going to actually help speed up the process for you within your career. Okay, so it's going to mean a lot of different things for different people within the collective, but that's sort of what we're looking at there. But with that Fish as this sort of overview for your career, definitely it is actually going to create a lot more abundance for you in general within your career. New options sort of that you're going to be able to explore within the career, a lot of growth and expansion all around. Okay. And then when I ask specifically about finances, we do see the key as well as the coffin, which I have sort of clarified that coffin with the mountain. So that sort of gives me a very clear idea of what we're talking about when that a lot of the time when I'm clarifying, I am looking for similarities and things that this card may actually have in similar to this card. And with these two cards, there is one very big, clear similarity, which is that, the coffin can sometimes talk about patience, and the mountain, of course, does talk about obstacles and delays. All right, so we are sort of seeing something taking a little bit longer than probably expected. So what we're talking about is growth within your finances. With that key, you are getting a lot of new opportunities coming your way. Like, it unlocks new doors, new possibilities for you. But it is the card of success within, finances and career anyway. So it's a very successful card. You are heading into success. It may just take a little bit longer than you were sort of hoping for. Okay. So I don't know why I've read that as the mountain, but it does have the mountains in the pictures, but it is actually the sun card. All right. So when we're clarifying that, it is sort of actually, I better go back over that there, but and make sure I am reading that correctly, because for some reason it's hit my intuition as the mountain card straight away. So with that commonality, like I was saying, there is that commonality, because in this deck there is the mountains, and quite often in the sun there is mountains depicted. So it's sort of talking about revealing obstacles to you, revealing the need to be patient about certain things. So it's just slightly different, but with that sun, it really does talk about revealing things and bringing things to light. So you're actually going to be able to see the patience paying off, but overall, we do have that key, which is success. And then the sun is actually a much better card to get than the mountains, because it is the happiest sort of card in the deck. It does talk about happiness. So overall, we are looking at a lot of happiness coming in for you when it comes to finances. There may just be some sort of stagnancy or waiting period. That coffin card can also talk about certain things needing to end in order to bring in this new energy. So the new energy and the possible energy is fantastic. The only sort of thing there is that there may be some sort of things that we need to end, which is going to be cycles that we have dealt with money in the past. So the way we may have, especially with the tower up there in the career as well, so the way that we may have dealt with things in the past is just not getting the job done the way that it should be. But if we ending out those cycles that aren't working for us, ending out anything within our finances that just don't work for us, if you find you're overspending on a certain thing, close that out. Close the door on that and open the door to all the new opportunities instead, Aries. So that's what I've got for you there. Sorry I did misread a card. That doesn't happen very often. But when you've got so many different decks, a lot of the cards do look quite similar, different representations in different decks and things like that. So quite easy to do, but as long as we're correcting our mistakes, I suppose, and owning up to our mistakes. I am somebody who I do really appreciate it when people take responsibility for their actions and own up to their mistakes. So I am very sorry about that, Aries, but we got there in the end, and like I said, it was actually turned out to be a much more positive card and meaning for you there. So definitely seeing some happiness with finances coming in for you. Okay, so we'll move over to Taurus. How are we, Taurus? Just looking today at career and finances. Career and finances for Taurus, please. First and foremost, Taurus, perseverance, all right? So I know that I can do whatever I set my mind to. So it may just be a little bit of a period of, having to put in the hard work and persevere through the, the not so fun parts of your career or financial situation at the moment. But that perseverance definitely will pay off as long as you keep your mind set to the end goals. All right. Taurus and their career, please. And Taurus and finances, please. Taurus and finances. Okay, so within your career, first and foremost, we do have the book. Okay, so straight away that's yelling at me, that's got to do with knowledge and research, making sure we're doing our due diligence, that perseverance, coming on through once again. There may be some sort of further education you do need when it comes to your career. You may be sort of in the process at the moment of, learning more about a particular field, all those sorts of things. But some sort of education or researching what you're doing, being quite important at the moment, and making sure we're doing it, correctly. So not putting that effort in to basically, make sure we know our job inside out, kind of a vibe. And there may be a need for a little bit of extra information, asking people for help, to help the best ways to do that particular procedure or whatever that may be for you. Then we do see the house followed by the fish. Okay, so once you've done your due diligence, you've persevered there, done the research necessary, educated yourself to the best of your ability, we are seeing a lot of job security and stability for you. It's a pretty straightforward message. And then with that fish, that's the financial card. Okay, so it does talk about abundance and wealth. So long term, this particular career path is going to be very stable and secure, and it is going to give you the opportunity to become quite successful and abundant, financially from your position as well. So definitely what we like to see for a career reading there. Now, when it does come to your specific finances, I do have the ship followed by the moon card. Okay, so for some of you, there may be some sort of need to travel, or I am kind of feeling though that with the moon card there, that maybe I'm actually looking at the opposite, and traveling is not the best for your job at the moment. With that moon card, it does talk about emotions, all right? So and emotional sensitivity, all right? So it does really give me that vibe of, emotional spending kind of a vibe. So, be careful not to book a trip or something and spend more money than you currently have the ability to spend, because I'm just feeling that for some of you, this may not be the right decision at this time to book that trip from an emotional place. Book trips from a logical place at the moment, Taurus. But really, we are just sort of seeing new journeys with the way that we're processing spending and those sorts of things. The emotional component is definitely coming through quite strong with that moon card, and it talks about following your intuition rather than your emotion. Okay, so if you know that you're, not in the best mind frame and you're a bit upset about something, don't be going and spending. Okay, don't be making financial choices while you are in an emotional mindset. Really making sure we're thinking things through logically, and especially when it comes to things that you, because it even though I don't have the clover here, it does feel a little bit risky, like taking a bit of a risk on things like journey type things that are involved with, journeying, or, it could just be that journey within yourself. So I feel as though it's things that you don't have any, direct experience with, that it would be a brand new journey for you to buy that product because you've never tried it before, or things like that. Yeah, so, and it could also, like I said, be talking about actual trips, as well as, if you are someone who is involved in boats, don't go and buy a boat, okay, because you need to fix that emotional need for a boat, okay? Don't do that at the moment, Taurus. It's not the right time. You really need to be thinking things through logically at the moment rather than from an emotional state, all right? So any big purchases, really, really thinking them through, and giving yourself time to make sure we're not, emotional spending at the moment, Taurus. Just a bit of a warning there. Perseverance, once again, persevere and give yourself time, I feel, with that perseverance card, that, you know, if you are thinking about making a big purchase, actually taking your time, you know, persevering through the emotional, I want this phase, and persevering to the actual logical phase of, but do I need it? Okay, so just a bit of a message there for you, Taurus, when it comes to being careful how we're spending our money, and what sort of, if we're coming from our emotions or our logic. Okay. But moving over to Gemini, how are we, Gemini? Just looking today at career and finances. Career and finances for Gemini, please. Discipline, Gemini. Okay, so I can accomplish what I set my mind to. So that's talking about being in control of yourself when it comes to, you know, your interactions in the workplace, as well as the way that we're spending money as well. Being quite self-disciplined at the moment. Definitely getting that vibe that, you know, you may need to save up a bit of money at the moment, Gemini. There may be something, you know, big that you're wanting to purchase, and having that self-discipline in order to save up for that, rather than, you know, spending a lot on little things at the moment. All right, Gemini, and career. Okay, and Gemini and finances, please. Okay, so when it comes to your career, Gemini, we do firstly have the anchor card. Okay, so I am getting the vibe that there's something that is sort of weighing you down a little bit about your job, about you know, whatever it is within your career. There's something sort of weighing you down a little bit. You know, I do have that followed by the book. All right, so I feel as though that's kind of that energy of you feeling a little bit stuck, feeling a little bit held in place by where you are at the moment, and kind of wanting to bring in some new chapters into your career, into your work, that kind of a thing. Just wanting a bit of newness to come through somehow. Just feeling like you're sort of being held in place, rather than having that opportunity to move into new areas, experience new things, learn new things. The book can talk about, you know, education as well. So you just feel as though you've sort of hit a bit of a plateau, you know, at the moment within your career. And I do also have the whip. Okay, so I do feel that there may be some sort of quarrels, you know, some infighting going on around you in the workplace, you know, and that's probably what's helping you, you know, feel totally stuck. It's just you're feeling just a little bit troubled, feeling as though, you know, that you like, and I am getting that for some of you, Gemini, you're actually kind of feeling with that book there, and the whip, kind of feeling as though you don't know your job enough, feeling like you maybe need to research things a little bit more, be a little bit more educated, and it's kind of just troubling you a little bit that you want to be able to progress into new chapters here, but you are just feeling a bit like stuck and like held back, like I said initially there. And it's just kind of, you know, a bit of tension within you, and troubling you a little bit. But there definitely could be some sort of, you know, office drama, or that sort of a thing going on as well around you. I don't feel like this is, you know, hitting you too hard directly, Gemini, but it is sort of just sort of around your energy at the moment, and it's just sort of not helping that feeling of stuckness. But with that discipline card there as well, if there is some sort of fighting going on within your career, your work, really making sure we are being self-disciplined and not involving ourselves in that sort of stuff, and having a lot of discipline to, you know, stick things out is what I'm really getting. With that anchor, it does sort of hold things in place, but it also can talk about, you know, it's quite secure. It's held in place for a reason, you know, and having the discipline to stick that out, you know. But I feel as though, it's just one of them times I feel that, you are just feeling a little bit stuck and bored, kind of a vibe coming through there. But yeah, being very self-disciplined that, you can accomplish whatever you set your mind to. And at this time, it is kind of that self-discipline to just stick in there, I feel. Um, Now, when it comes to your finances, Gemini, we do have the crossroad, followed by the coffin. All right. So it's kind of letting us know that, when it comes to your financial decisions at the moment, your choices with your finances, how you choose to spend your money, there is something that you need to end with the way that you're doing things. All right. You need to close the cycle off. The coffin does talk about, death of one thing in order to rebirth new energy. So, and having a bit of patience as well. So being quite self-disciplined with the way that you're spending your money, and not making any rash decisions, because the coffin can talk about, having a bit of patience as well, that still period. So making sure we're not rushing into, sudden financial decisions, things like that. Being quite self-disciplined when it comes to your money as well. And there is definitely, for some of you, there's a way that you're spending money, or you have been spending money, that it needs to end, and you know it. All right, you already know this, and you need to be much more disciplined with not buying that thing, or those things, or whatever it is for you in particular. You know, and choose better for yourself when it comes to your finances. I do feel as though we are needing to sort of save up a little bit at the moment. So rash emotional sort of decisions when it comes to, making financial choices is not in your best interest at the moment. You're really needing to be a little bit more disciplined with the way that you're spending money, Gemini. So, bit of a warning for you there, Gemini. So I'm sorry if that's not what you wanted to hear. Moving over to Cancer. How are we, Cancer? Just looking at career and finances for you today. Career and finances for Cancer. Okay, so we have the loneliness card coming out, Cancer. I know that I am never alone. So, it does sort of just gives that vibe of like, a lot of you may be in a very seclusive type workplace where, you may have to work alone quite a lot. You may be having to carry the weight of others a lot. It's just that very standalone kind of energy, having to do things by yourself, not having someone there to help you out, guide you how to do this or that. And just feeling that, just that sense of loneliness, even if there's a lot of people around you. You may be just feeling a little bit excluded at the moment from the workplace. All right. But Yeah, quite interesting. It could also, for some of you, I feel, Cancer, it could actually be talking about outside of work, and not having someone to sort of hash things through. Like when you get home and be like, how was your day? Oh, at work was this and this and this happened, and not having someone to talk those sorts of things through with. So, you know, talk it through with yourself in the mirror, or a pet, all those sorts of things, if that is you. But there definitely is, it does sort of come through with that message of, I know I am never alone. So you can also, there's a lot of things you can do to cull that sense of loneliness. If you are maybe reaching out to some workmates and just saying, look, I'm feeling really bored. I need someone to help keep me occupied at the moment. I'm just, having trouble with that at the moment. And reaching out to someone within the workplace, or reaching out to people, outside of work. Look, I just want someone to talk through my day with, and, maybe getting onto an online group, sort of a thing where you can talk things through, those sorts of things. There's groups out there for everything when it comes to all those sorts of things, especially on Facebook. It's like, what can we whinge about today? And, sometimes that's all we need is to just get it out of our system. Career for Cancer, please. Can can I just get a clarifier on that message, please? Okay. And finances for Cancer, please. And a clarifier for that too, please. Clarifier for finances for Cancer. All right, so when it comes to your career, we do firstly have the book energy coming through, followed by the Tower. Okay, so and I do also have the masculine, and I have clarified that with the tree there. Okay, so straight away with that, the tree clarifying that message, we know that we're looking at you yourself within your career. Okay, and so that masculine energy is kind of you, Cancer, whether you're male or female, it doesn't really matter. It just sort of means that the way that you're thinking about things, the way that we're not really coming within our career, coming from that, very masculine energy, where the masculine and that loneliness do kind of marry up there, because, the masculine keeps to themselves quite a lot, and they don't sort of tend to rely on others for emotional support within the workplace. So, it kind of is just sort of letting us know that you do maybe need to just have a little bit of growth in that area, and needing to ask for help. The tree is all about, self and self growth. So it's really just showing us that, the help is there for you if you need it. Branch out, ask for help, kind of a vibe. And then we do have, with the book and the Tower, a lot of the time the Tower does talk about the way that we have, laid our foundations within the career. So, and the knowledge that we are coming from, within our career, the level of education that we have. And it's just kind of feeling as though you're just missing that social connection. So maybe researching a little bit more on how can I be more, social in the workplace, even if you do sort of work alone. I'm sure that if you sat there and Googled it, I'm sure that there would be something about how to, deal with working alone, more than often, that kind of a thing. But really just needing to look at some foundational things that you can, help yourself grow a little bit more. It can talk about, like foundational courses. So like education, where it's just like giving you a bit more of a base foundation of knowledge as well. So, but definitely seeing that we are sort of having some new chapters coming in for you within your career, and it is going to help you lead to this growth. But really just feeling that, we are just needing to, ask for help a little bit, and, find that support. It doesn't matter, like, it doesn't matter whether you're finding that support within the workplace, within your career, or, outside of your career, but really sort of needing just that branch of that olive branch at the moment of asking for help when you do need it. And I am getting a vibe of, just needing a little bit more social aspect for yourself at the moment as well. All right. So for some of you, this could be something like, just doing some sort of, small course on, how do I socialize better, that kind of a thing. How do I talk to my coworkers, that kind of a thing, So, um, yeah, just that's what I'm getting from that for you, Cancer. Then when it comes to your actual finances, we do have the moon and the mountain. So you can kind of see here that, the moon starts off with this small mountain, and then the mountain leads up into this peak. All right. So we are sort of feeling that, you are feeling a bit like standing alone at the moment on the top of that mountain. The emotions that come through with the moon, it really does talk about, just putting a little bit of emotional work in at the moment, and it will actually lead you to, receiving a lot more. We do have the flowers clarifying that. So we are just seeing that you are needing to just put in a little bit more work, and focus a little bit more on what can I do to increase my finances. So, the mountain can talk about some sort of delay or obstacle, a bit of a challenge, but it can be overcome quite easily with a little bit of determination and perseverance there. And it's also going to help you to know that it can, you can actually overcome this also with, looking at what your dreams are telling you, what your intuition is telling you, about where you want to be financially. What do you want given to you financially? What do you want to receive financially? The flowers is all about, reward and pleasure and that giving energy. All right, so the finances are there. They want to sort of give to you, and you want to receive them, of course, but just a little bit of emotional work needing to be put into that at the moment. I do feel as though that might be linked up with what we're seeing with this career growth aspect going on. When we do have that self-growth when it comes to, your career, these sort of things sort of a lot of the time do fall into line just naturally by themselves. So when you do learn a little bit more about how to socialize and things like that, it may actually help you overcome these obstacles you're having within finances. And get you into that definite giving energy. But it's definitely, it's not a huge obstacle or anything like that, because that flowers has clarified that energy. We're just talking about, the way that you give. Maybe you give too much money out too as well. Just a side note for some of you there, Cancer. If you do look at things and you find that you are giving to people out of emotion, you're going to have to cut that out. It's going to take a bit of hard work and perseverance, but don't allow feelings of loneliness to cut into your finances in any way. All right, so I do feel that for maybe one or two of you, that is what's going on, and that's why that loneliness has come out as well, that you may actually be making like financial decisions out of a sense of loneliness, and giving like financially to try to stave off that loneliness kind of energy. It's quite interesting. All right. But we'll move over to Leo. How are we, Leo? I'm just looking today at career and finances for you, Leo. Career and finances for Leo, please. Don't forget to like and subscribe, guys. I really do appreciate all of the support so far. Anyone that does comment on one of the videos will go in the draw for a free personal reading as well. Starting off there today, Leo, we do have forgiveness. All right, so I acknowledge that harboring resentment blocks the flow of love. So there may be just some sort of resentment that you're holding on to about your career or finances, or not. I feel as though that's just kind of aimed at yourself, Leo, that you're kind of feeling that, you may be resenting that you're not as far ahead with your career or finances as you want to be, and making sure we are giving ourselves forgiveness. Even if that's something that's happened in the past, that you have made some bad financial choices in the past, making sure we are giving ourselves forgiveness for those things as well. So Leo and career. Okay, and now looking at Leo and finances, please. Okay, so with your career, first and foremost, we do have the cross card coming out. Okay, so you may be actually working in a spiritual kind of field, or a religious kind of field. For some of you, there may be a religious or spiritual element to your career. But I'm just feeling that there is some sort of, the next card that came out is the letter, and there is some sort of burden that you've been carrying and not sure how to solve that within your career. But communication is definitely coming through about that. So whatever that is for you, Leo, I do feel as though you probably already know, but it's letting us know, have faith, because the communication is coming, and the paperwork, it could, for some of you, it could be paperwork directly coming through for you in regard to this issue, and then it's actually leading you into a much more stable and secure position within your career. All right, because that's the house there, so that really is very, very stable and secure energy. So it's kind of just a short little message to let you know that, you know, whatever has been you know, whatever you have been resenting yourself for when it comes to your career, making sure we're forgiving ourselves for that, and having faith, because that is going to be resolved very, very soon. The communication is right there, all right? So, and it's definitely leading you into a much more stable and secure position within your career or employment or whatever, all right? Now, with your finances, Leo, I just want to grab a clarifier for that. Can we please clarify this message for Leo with their finances? Okay, so the clarifier I have gotten is the fish card, all right? So that does talk about abundance, finances, and wealth. But somehow your financial situation at the moment is very dependent on this feminine energy, all right? So that's quite interesting. So with the heart there and the feminine, it's like, I feel like for a lot of you, this might be you, Leo, and it's really talking about forgiveness once again, forgiving yourself for, you know, the mistakes you might have made within your financial situation in the past. All right, making sure we are stopping and loving ourselves, and you know, showing ourselves some love, and nurturing ourselves when it comes to our financial situation, making sure we're forgiving ourselves for any mistakes, but also not forgetting to, you know, love on ourselves as well, nurture ourselves, and nurture our financial state. You know, so even if you're, you know, not in the best finances at the moment, the more attention and love that you show towards yourself and your, you know, your finances at the moment, whatever they are for you, whether they're good or bad, you know, showing yourself some forgiveness and love for whatever that situation is, it will help improve it. All right. And we are seeing the abundance. It's there for the taking. All right. It has sort of clarified that for us. But I did do a reading recently where I know for a fact Leo had gotten a message of, like, I even titled the video, you know, give yourself a gift, Leo. So a few of you out there have not listened and have not sort of been looking after yourselves, because that message is still coming through. Okay, so you know, if there is a specific, you know, self-care kind of something that you've wanted for a while and just haven't, you know, love yourself, Leo. I think maybe it is time to nurture yourself and buy yourself a small gift or something like that. All right, because forgiving yourself for any mistakes with finances and really, you know, showing yourself some love, it will actually help, you know, make those finances a lot more abundant for you. So there you go, Leo. That's what I have for you. Once again, Leo needs to buy themselves a present, all right? Quite a fun message, Leo. I'm a Leo rising, then I'll definitely be following that advice. No, who am I to lie? I actually had parcels arrive already today, so I do have a new deck that arrived today, as well as a little nail thing to dry my fingernails. What are they called? A UV light for fingernail polish. So I definitely have already gifted myself some stuff this week. So Leo rising, all the other Leos out there, get on it. Okay, well, I'll move over to Virgo. Hi, Virgo. How are we today? Just looking at career and finances for you today. So starting off with one of the Soul's Journey lesson cards, Virgo, career and finances for Virgo. Okay. We have the doubt card coming out for you, Virgo. It does say, I release the need to know all the answers. So there may be some things that, you know, you are unable to ask for help at this time. So stop doubting yourself. You don't need to know everything. It's okay to ask for help when it comes to your career or your finances, okay? But just that self-doubt, feeling like you maybe don't know part of the job or the procedures or something like that. All right, we'll see what comes out for you. Virgo and career. Okay, and Virgo and their finances, please. And just clarify that second card, please. Okay, so Virgo, when it comes to your career, first and foremost, I do have the ring. So if this was a love reading, I would be talking about relationships, but obviously we're talking about career reading here. So it's more looking at the cycles within your career, all right? So, doubting that those cycles, having a bit of I feel like I haven't got the coffin here, but I do feel like we're talking about ending certain cycles where you have sort of doubted yourself and the way that you have dealt with things in the past, and needing to sort of end that cycle, and not being afraid to ask for help, and not needing to control every little thing, because we do also have the bear energy. So that does talk about that overprotectiveness, that defensiveness. So if someone's coming to you saying, "Oh, you did such and such wrong," are you acting a bit defensive? Even though you don't need to know all the answers. Okay, so it's okay to sometimes admit your mistakes or your faults or the things that you may not be the best at. And ending that cycle of overprotectiveness when it comes to whatever this is within your career for you. It is going to be obviously a little bit different for everybody within the collective, but we are just seeing that you are being a little bit overprotective of wanting to sort of control every little thing. The bear can talk about power and control, so just feeling like there is just a little bit of a power struggle, a control issue going on, that you're needing to end that cycle with, and releasing the need to know all the answers. All right, so like I've said, it is okay to ask for help. It is okay to admit that you may not know how to do this or that, all those sorts of things, and asking for help, and that will actually lead you to stronger job stability and security. Okay, we do have the house coming through, so that does talk about job security and stability long term. So we are going to be seeing that, if you can end that cycle and move into, more cycles where you're just standing in your own power and confident in knowing what you're doing, not doubting yourself, that it will lead to a lot more security for you within your career. All right. And then when it comes to your finances, I do have the lily, and the moon, which I have clarified the moon with the fox energy. Okay, so we are seeing that, with the fox energy on the table, I do sort of feel that need of that need to act more independently, and not controlling every little thing when it comes to your finances, but not allowing anyone else to, take full control either. Making sure that we are looking after ourselves and being self-sufficient. But also with that fox energy, it kind of does talk about, when it's clarifying the moon there, it does talk about, controlling our emotions a little bit more when it comes to our finances. And, because the fox energy is like that car salesman, that they'll find they're quite clever, and so being clever about how we're dealing with things emotionally, financially, and that car salesman vibe of saying, like, it's not to the point of manipulation. Like, obviously I don't want anyone to be manipulating other people or anything like that, but following your intuition a little bit more, and just being careful about the way that you talk about your finances, just being a little bit more self-protective of the way that you do talk about your finances and share your financial stuff with other people, all right? Because it really does talk about your emotions and your intuition with this moon card, and then the fox sort of having that salesman being quite clever and to the point of being a little bit tricky with the way that we're dealing with that stuff. Okay, so I do just feel like that's a bit of a message to just be careful that we're not, reacting financially rather than and not sharing too much. Just following your intuition and sort of being careful about the way that we, being quite crafty about the way that we actually are dealing with our finances and not showing our whole hand. I kind of feel because that lily though, that is one of the career cards. It does talk about your career, paying off in the long run. Okay, it is a longevity card, and it does talk about career, like I said. So it is sort of letting us know that in the long term, your finances are pretty sweet. So it's just that reining yourself in emotionally when it comes to spending, and like I said, being quite clever about the way that we're spending our money, and long term, your finances are going to be great. I feel that career that you're in does feel like it is a long term sort of financial opportunity for you with that career. All right, so that's overall really good. But like I said, like we did say with that doubt card, just being careful not to be too controlling within our career. All right. Okay, so moving over to Libra. How are we today, Libra? Just looking at career and finances today. Libra, career and finances for Libra, please. Humor. Okay, so I choose to focus on the lighter side of life. Okay, so injecting a little bit more humor into the workplace at the moment. Laughing it off rather than taking things personally at the moment. Libra and their career, please. Okay, and clarify that third card, please. Okay, and Libra and their finances, please. Libra and finances. Okay, so firstly, I want to talk about your finances, Libra, because we do have the garden and the cross coming through. So that's a pretty straightforward message, all right? So it's talking about, you will meet your, this is a social card and it does talk about meetings and, places to meet. So I am kind of vibing straight away that that's talking about, you will meet your financial goals, all right? So we definitely are seeing those sort of being, and with that socialness of that card, it's quite active and it's quite a lot, like it does give that vibe of abundance with that as well. So all those financial goals that you have for yourself, they are going to be met, and it's going to be quite restful and positive. It is definitely a positive card, and the cross there is just sort of letting us know, have faith that those goals will be met, and that will help you achieve them. All right, so having that it can also be a spiritual or religious element to that as well. So don't allow it to burden you, because these goals are going to be met, but also there may be some things you can do spiritually as well. So like if there's a certain goal that you want to manifest, you've got that spiritual backing to be able to manifest these sorts of things. And you do definitely have that sort of destined to meet these goals vibe going on with your finances there. Okay, so that straight away, I love that for you. So we had to sort of talk about that first, of course. Okay, Libra. When it comes to your career, I do have straight away two of the financial cards coming through. So we have the fish and then the lily. Okay, so the fish is all about abundance and wealth and finances, and then the lily is a career card, and it does talk about long term. You know, a lot of support for you there long term with your abundance and your financials. So it does feel as though your career actually does have a lot of potential for you to be quite, procure you a lot of wealth, meet those financial goals, and in the long term, you are going to be very abundant within this career. But we do also have the mountain, which was clarified by the book. Okay, so you probably are facing some little challenges, a few little obstacles, just to do with new chapters within the career. Okay, so for some of you, this may be talking about like new management, it's that new element, so new procedures being implemented, new systems being run, all those sorts of things, and just having to get over that obstacle. It may cause you just a little bit of delays in the upcoming few weeks when it comes to your career, the job that you're doing. There may be just a few little speed bumps, I suppose. But it really is going to open up new possibilities for you as well. And once you get over those obstacles, it's really going to help enlighten you to the longevity of this career option. It's definitely vibing that every mountain, even though it is a bit of an obstacle sometimes, it's also a brand new opportunity. All right, so focusing on the opportunities that is going to bring, and it may bring a little bit of education with it as well. With that book card, sometimes it can talk about just furthering education a little bit as well. So it's definitely going to pay off in the long run. All right, but like I said, just a few little speed bumps for you there, Libra. All right, so moving on to Scorpio. How are we today, Scorpio? Just making sure I've got our timestamps there. So Scorpio and their career and finances. Career and finances for Scorpio. Okay, what's going on, Scorpio? The first card I have for you is the failure card. It does say, which is obviously the important part, is it does say, I understand that a mistake is only an opportunity to learn. Okay, so definitely looking at learning from our mistakes, the things that we may feel have been failures for us. Within our career or our finances, that you may have made mistakes in the past, and using those as opportunity to learn and not make those same mistakes in the future. Okay, Scorpio. Scorpio and career, please. Okay, and Scorpio and finances. Okay, so when it comes to your career, Scorpio, we do have the heart first and foremost. So I do feel as though that's directly relating to those past mistakes. Surrounding yourself with love, seeing them as opportunities to learn and love yourself anyway, even if you've made some mistakes in the past. We all do. It's to err is human, as they say. But really making sure we are, forgiving ourselves, loving ourselves, surrounding ourselves with, making sure that we are super passionate about ourselves when it comes to doing what we love and doing, the things that we love within our career. All right. And we do have that masculine energy as well. So that once again, it's straight away telling us, love yourself, whether you're male or female, it doesn't really matter. Love yourself. Make sure we are thinking things through quite logically, not emotionally. So, love doesn't always have to be an emotional thing. It can just be talking about, your passion for the job and thinking about things logically. Even if you only in that job for money or whatever, I'm sure that there's even something that you may love about the job. So we all have those things where, even if we hate the job, there's still something about the job that, we can sort of be like, well, I do really appreciate that or this or that, or even if it's just that I get paid at the end of the week, that could be it too. But a lot of the time for a lot of people, it's like, I love the people I work with. That definitely could be coming through with that masculine as well. But really thinking things through logically at the moment when it comes to your career, trying to stay away from the emotional stuff when it comes to that, and just being in control of your emotions a little bit there as well. Especially when it comes to conversations that you may be having within the workplace, with clients, all those sorts of things. The birds there is a communication type energy. So it's really talking about, loving yourself and loving, finding that passion for communicating well and communicating from that logical sense. All right. So really thinking through how we can best communicate. Communication coming through quite strong there, and really needing to, think that through logically and from a non-emotional standpoint. So, if you do find yourself getting a little bit emotional, uh, during conversations, during meetings, all those sorts of things, just back it up, and remind yourself, no, I need to think about this logically rather than reacting to something that's been said. All right. So then when it comes to your finances, we do have the fox energy and the anchor energy. Okay, so that's pretty straightforward, letting us know that, you need to be quite clever. And once again, that logic coming through, thinking about yourself and being quite independent and clever, to the point of, being a little bit tricky with the way that you're dealing with your money. That it is a bit of a trickster energy sometimes, this, if I pay out $2 here, I'll get $6 back here. And, just being quite smart, about the way that you are dealing with money at the moment, and, buying things that are only going to, better your financial situation. So it could actually be a good time to be investing, in stocks or shares or anything like that. It with that, fox there, it can talk about, a good time to invest. We also see the anchor. Okay, so that's going to keep us secure. All right, going to hold us nice in place where we are. So I'm not seeing any, huge growth coming through straight away, or any, but no loss either. All right. The anchor holds us pretty secure. We can weather any storm. So you're going to be able to, afford the things that you do need, and whatnot as well. So it's kind of like that. The anchor is what holds us steady through the storm. So it's kind of like if there is a big storm come out of nowhere, some big financial thing come out of nowhere, you're going to be totally fine. You're held in place. You think things through quite cleverly, and you're going to be fine. All right. So that's what we've got there, and don't let those past mistakes hold you back. Just use them as opportunities to learn. All right. Okay, so moving over to Sagittarius. How are we today, Sagittarius? Just looking at career and finances for our Saggies. Okay, we do have gratitude coming through strong for you, Sagittarius. So that does say, I am thankful for this life and the opportunities that it presents. All right, so making sure we are being grateful, for our career, our job, our current financial situation. When we show our gratitude to these sorts of things, the universe has its way of increasing. There's a manifestation technique. I can't even remember where I learnt it, but what they do, thank you, more please, is what they would say to when they're like, to manifest more growth in a specific area. So I find it's just coming to me, Sagittarius. So I feel like that might be important for a couple of you at the moment. But, making sure we're grateful for what we already have, saying, thank you. I really appreciate that you have given me this. More, please. Like, I really like that. Can I have more, please? Like, keep it coming kind of a vibe. So, but remembering to be grateful for where we are, what we have already. All right, so Sagittarius, career and finances for our Sagittarius. Okay, and just one for future career energy for Sagittarius, please. Okay, and finances for Sagittarius, please. Okay, so when it comes to your finances, I'll start with that today, Sagittarius. When it comes to your finances, we do have the flowers and then the tree. Okay, so that really actually talks about, giving. The flowers just talk about giving, and then the tree actually talks about yourself. And, so I kind of feel that's pretty straightforward, and it's letting us know that, having that gratitude for what we've already got, and having that gratitude for yourself, and, giving back to yourself as well, looking after yourself. So, the more that we give to ourselves financially, the more that's actually going to improve our finances as well. It could also talk about giving to things like education at this time as well. So if there is some things that you need to, educate yourself a little bit more on, now is actually a really good time to be grateful for the opportunity to learn. All right. Like we saw with that, I'm thankful for this life and the opportunities it presents. So now is really a good time to be giving to yourself in that manner of, opportunities. Okay, so I'm not talking about going and buying yourself, a brand new car or anything like that. I'm talking about giving to yourself opportunities for self-growth. Okay, so we could be talking about things like education, for sure, coming through at the moment. Even just financial education. If you feel that there's something that you don't really know about that much when it comes to your finances, that giving yourself the opportunity to learn those things is actually going to help increase your finances in the future. Now, your career, we do have straight away the Tower and the Anchor. Okay, so we're looking at, some strong foundations that you've laid when it comes to your career. You've pardon, put a lot of work in already, I feel, with that, and that you may have had to be, spend quite a bit of time, in solitude, in a sense, in order to lay these foundations for your career. But, they're kind of, I just feel as though we're kind of, secure, held in place at the moment within our career. We've laid such strong foundations for ourselves that, you are quite secure and held in place at the moment. But just be careful that it doesn't actually err onto the end of, being held down or held back. Those foundations that you've laid are really, really strong, and they're going to help you weather any storm. So if there is a storm coming through, unexpectedly with your career, that you will be able to weather that because you've laid those foundations already. So, for those sorts of examples where, there might be a mass firing, like, I'm not saying that this is coming through in the cards at all, but, if that were, to happen, and they were just firing a bunch of people, that you are secure and you're all good. The foundations that you've laid within that job, you're all good. You're just totally safe during this time. We do also have the ring. Okay, so that's talking about cycles. So you may just be feeling, with that anchor there, you may just be feeling like you're in a little bit of a stuck cycle at the moment at work. But I don't feel like, I feel as though when I've clarified that, I've gotten the moon. So I feel as though that's just an emotional thing at the moment. You may just be feeling like you're at the lull, kind of stagnant side of a cycle when it comes to your work. But I feel like it's just an emotional thing at the moment, and this too shall pass, and really focusing on being grateful for those foundations that you've laid that are going to hold you steady through this, through anything when it comes to your career, and it's going to hold you steady through this cycle as well. And with every ring, even if you're down here at the bottom in a bit of a lull, it comes back around and it perks back up all over again. Okay, so your emotions are going to perk back up, and you are going to be fine. It's totally secure for you. That's what this, I feel like what that storm might be for you. It might just be you emotionally just feeling a bit bored with work, feeling a bit stagnant, that kind of a thing. But the foundations that you've laid, I feel like I can safely say that you're good at your job. So you know what you're doing. So it's going to come back around, and you will find your passion for it once again, making sure once again that we are being grateful for the opportunities we're given within our career, because that will help get you out of that lull period. All right. Okay, so moving over to Capricorn. How are we today, Capricorn? Just looking at career and finances. Career and finances for our Capricorns. Okay, firstly, we do have blame coming through. So that does say, I accept responsibility for my own well-being. Okay, so being very, very careful at this time to not, pardon, to not blame others within the workplace for your, any mistakes you may make through your career, for you not feeling the best about at the job, or whatever that may be for you. But I also do feel as though we're talking about finances here as well, Capricorn. So not putting blame on anyone else for your financial situation, making sure that you are taking responsibility for your own well-being. So looking after your own finances, taking control. For some of you, I feel like, maybe you're relying on somebody else too much and then blaming them when things go wrong financially. Take responsibility for your own finances a little bit more, if that resonates for you. All right. Just a bit of a warning. Don't be putting blame on others. Making sure that we do accept responsibility for, maybe I shouldn't have given you that much power. Like that. Even if it's just that, if you've assigned role, like a lot of Capricorns are just natural leaders. So I'm kind of speaking to you as though you are a leader within a workforce kind of thing. Obviously everyone's got different careers and whatnot, but if you're assigning jobs out to people, for example, and you've given a particular task to that particular person, even though you know that they're not the best at that, are they really to blame for not doing the best job at that? Because, maybe you do need to actually accept responsibility and be like, well, I really should have given that task to this person over here who I know is actually really good at that. Okay, so taking responsibility for your own role in things as well, Capricorn. Just a bit of a warning there. I'm not of course I'm not blaming you guys. I'm just that's what's come out. So we do need to talk about it. Okay, but Capricorn and career and finances, please. Okay, and Capricorn, finances specific, please. Okay, I don't know why we saw that blame coming out for you, Capricorn. I think maybe that was just a bit of a side note. Just be wary not to do that. But we do have for your career, first and foremost, the anchor. Okay, so I'm feeling you're quite steady. You're held in place. You're quite secure with what you're doing, whatever that may be for you. We do have that followed by the mountain. So the mountain can talk about delays or challenges that may be coming up. You may be presented with some sort of, delay or challenge. Don't blame anyone for that, because, it's just a part of life, I suppose. There is these mountains to climb here and there once you climb those obstacles, though, they are an opportunity, all right? And the mountain actually is the Capricorn card as well. So if anyone is able to put in the hard work to climb up the mountain, it is a Capricorn, all right? And then you're quite stable. Like I said, with that anchor, you are quite stable and able to, put in that hard work. No matter what that obstacle is, you're staying put, kind of a vibe. I feel like for some of you, don't worry, you're staying put. And put in the hard work now, persevere, put in that determination, and then we will get to the sun, okay? The sun will shine. Things will come to light that are going to make us a lot happier. The sun is the happiest sort of card in the deck, all right? So definitely a pretty straightforward message here, and it's definitely a positive one. Just that side note that there may be some small obstacles or delays upcoming, but you're totally fine. You've got that anchor energy, and you're going to get to the sun on the other side, so it's totally fine. Now, when it comes to your finances specifically, we do have the star and then the woman energy, okay? So the star really does talk about wish fulfillment, all your dreams coming true, everything that you have wished for financially. Here it comes, Capricorn. Definitely a positive card to be seen for our finances. The things that you have really wished for, they're definitely coming. They're in your energy already. And just nurturing yourself, looking after yourself and your emotions, and making sure you're very clear about what it is that you are wishing for financially. This feminine energy, does have a little bit of an emotional side. So make sure we're not allowing our emotions to send our wishes off into the wrong way. Make sure that we are sort of being responsible and allowing our emotions to bring those wishes into a positive, nurturing, fulfillment. All right. I just keep getting nurturing. So nurture yourself when it comes to your finances as well, Capricorn. With that feminine, sometimes I do feel like I need to say, that taking a little bit of self-care as well. Sometimes, the feminine does do nice things for themselves as well, love themselves as well. So definitely will help those wishes come in for you financially, but definitely all right there within your energy, Capricorn. So hopefully we see that fulfillment coming in soon. But over to Aquarius. How are we today, Aquarius? Just looking at our career and finances. Okay, career and finances for Aquarius. Perseverance, Aquarius. Putting in the hard work, Aquarius. I know that I can do whatever I set my mind to. Okay, so you can do it. Might just take a bit of work. Okay. All right, Aquarius. Career for Aquarius. And finances for Aquarius, please. And just want to clarify that energy, please. All right, so with your career, Aquarius, firstly, we do have the stork, okay? So the stork really does stir up brand new energy. Talks about things that are like, the birth of something brand new. So you might actually be starting a brand new business, those kinds of things. It's definitely favored at the moment if that's something that's been on your mind. The birth of new opportunities, the birth of brand new things getting stirred up for you within your career, your employment, your business, whatever that may be for you. And then we do have the ship. So that's quite a very similar kind of energy. It's like starting a new adventure, traveling. There may be some sort of traveling that you are needing to do for your career at the moment. I do feel, though, for majority of you, this is just starting some new adventure, letting us know that, your ships are coming in, loading them up with cargo and heading on out to sea at the moment there. So definitely starting a new adventure within your career. Even if you're not changing careers or starting a new business or anything like that, there is a lot of new energy. So and starting a new adventure. So you may be sort of getting that sense of adventure coming in. There may be someone new coming into the workplace that is actually really going to stir things up and sort of keep things moving within the career. We also have the birds coming through. So definitely heading into some important conversations with the career stuff as well. So, perseverance. Once again, we do have that perseverance card coming through. So especially if you are sort of starting a new business at the moment, Aquarius, persevere, because it will definitely be worth it. And once you get to those conversations, they're going to really bring things into fruition for you. It just talks about, some important meetings or conversations that are going to be taking place relatively soon. So for some of you, this could be talking about, an important meeting where you do find out you have to travel for work, those sorts of things as well. But when it comes to your finances, we do firstly have the child. So that's quite similar to the ship in the sense of it's like, looking for that adventure, having that sense of adventure and really just looking at your financial situation, with a child's innocence. So it's like, I know my child, for example, sometimes will go, wow, mum, $20, that's so much money. And I'm sitting there going, well, it's only going to buy me, well, these days it only buys you like a loaf of bread, right? But but the childlike sense of innocence when they talk about things like money, and they have no real understanding about it, but it's having that innocence, being like, $20, that can buy me like 20 lollies. Okay. So, having that sense of, wonderment at, even if it's just, whatever your financial situation is, remembering to have that child sense of innocence and amazement, that you are here, having a lot of gratitude for where you are, even if that's, not where you want to be. Having gratitude for where you are will help you get to where you want to be. All right. And then we also see the coffin, which was clarified by the bear energy. Okay. So we are just sort of overprotective a little bit at the moment, I feel, needing to protect ourselves a little bit more and close out some cycles within our finances that aren't really serving us the best. So I am getting the vibe that for some of us, it's kind of like, if you are having financial things where you're noticing you're spending a lot of money on XYZ and you're like, I don't even need XYZ, making sure we're closing that off and stopping that from, like subscriptions and all those sorts of things. If you don't even use it, what's the point of paying for it? Closing those sorts of things out, being a little bit more protective of your finances at this time. Once again, that child thing, like, I don't know, it's going to be different for, I'm in Australia, and we had this thing with our bank called the Dolomites account when we were kids, where it's all learning about how to save money. So I do feel as though, having that childlike sense of, wow, I saved $5, and being quite excited about saving that, rather than focusing on, oh, but then I had to spend $20 over here. Like focusing on the positive things when it comes to your finances, and really just being a little bit more protective and closing out things that aren't serving us within our finances as well. Okay, Aquarius? I'm sure, I'm sure a lot of you did have childhood bank accounts where it was like, oh, look, I can save $20. It's like, when you're a child, it's a lot of money, but making sure you're bringing that sense of innocence in for yourself at the moment. Okay, so last but definitely not least, as always, well, not as always, sometimes I do start with Libra and go through, but today we're ending with Pisces, but looking at our career and finances today, Pisces. Career and finances for Pisces, please. Okay, forgiveness, Pisces. I acknowledge that harboring resentment blocks the flow of love. So, is there something within our career or our finances that we are sort of a bit resentful of something that may have happened in the past? Have we made mistakes financially in the past that we need to forgive ourselves for? Those sorts of things, Pisces. I definitely feel as though for a lot of us, it's probably that feeling like we've made past mistakes with our finances and, wanting to do better in the future. Don't hold on to any resentment for yourself. Make sure you do forgive yourself for those things. To err is human, as they say. Pisces and career, please. If we make a mistake, we learn from it. We don't need to hold on to that, okay? Okay, and one more, Pisces and career, please. Okay, and finances for our Pisces. And just one more to clarify that, please. Okay, so that straight away I'm seeing the financial message coming out, linked up with that forgiveness message. All right, we do have the ring and the tower. Okay, so I'm straight away seeing, some past cycles when it comes to our finances. This could actually even be talking about a past relationship where we have, drained a bit of money there. We do also have the mouse, so that can talk about, like a loss. So there's something in the past financially, either a relationship or just a cycle where we have lost money. For some of us, it could even be someone who stole money from us. Like if this is a past relationship connection, and you're sort of feeling like somebody kind of, drained your funds a little bit. I do feel as though it's sort of weighing heavily on you at the moment. That mouse energy, it just sort of nickels away in the back of our head quite a lot, and I am feeling that this is past. It's over. It's done with. This is a cycle that has now ended. It is now in the past. So even if you have, been through a cycle where you were sort of losing money in some way, or you were having money sort of drained from you in some way, you're really needing to focus on that forgiveness for that past financial loss. All right. I acknowledge that harboring resentment blocks the flow of love. So if this is a past connection or a past cycle that you yourself have been in, making sure we're not holding any resentment towards that stuff in the past, remembering that it is in the past and that, we want to be focusing on, love flowing through our finances in the future, and being able to, grow those finances in the future rather than getting stuck on what may or may not have happened in the past. All right. And then when it comes to your career, Pisces, I do have the crossroads coming through, and that's actually followed by the whip. All right. So I'm getting a clear message for somebody out there in the Pisces collective that, you're going to have to make a decision soon, about whether you're getting dragged into the office drama, that kind of a vibe, like office drama, trouble, tension that's going on around you, and you kind of needing to decide, hang on, do I really need to get involved in this? Because the crossroads does talk about a choice or decision. So, obviously I'm going to be advising, choose to not get involved in any drama, because there will be some repercussions from whatever this trouble or drama is. I don't feel like this is you causing drama or tension. I feel like this is going on around you because we're seeing the road there. So it's kind of like it's trying to drag you down that path of getting involved, but I feel as though you kind of need to choose to avoid the trouble. So it's probably something that you're going to see going on around you. And I am getting that for someone out there in particular, it is just, like office drama, like infighting kind of thing within the employment, like within the job. And it's, like so and so did these that, like it's really vibing of, like just drama, like that you don't need to be involved in, Pisces, because that does follow through with the scythe. So there is going to be repercussions for whatever that drama is. So really don't get involved in that drama or whatever trouble is going on, because there is going to be some sudden or unexpected changes that's going to bring about. I do feel as though for some of you, if you do go into this drama, this could actually like suddenly change your financial situation, and bring around more drama. So that's the last thing that you want to get dragged into, Pisces. So I feel like that's a bit of a warning, that you really need to avoid trouble and tension at this time. Some of you may be sort of, I'm getting a few little messages here because this is going to play out differently for everybody within the collective. For some of you, it feels like, you may be working for an employer who is actually facing some financial trouble, and there may be like a sudden liquidation of a business, that kind of a thing. And you have the choice though, Pisces. You have the choice to steer clear of all this drama. I'm definitely feeling that you have the option to avoid it all completely. So it's going to mean, like I said, it's going to mean different things for different people, but we do have that clarified with the fish. Okay, so definitely could be seeing, that it, like I said, once again, I don't feel like it's you directly, Pisces. You have the crossroads, so this is not your path. Your path, you have the choice to walk around all this drama, but it's kind of a bit of a note there that, somebody around you could be getting fired. They could be, there could be someone within your workplace stealing money. Like I said, it could even be your employer that is sort of losing a bit of money financially or having a sudden change in the financials of the business. Those kinds of things, like you feeling pretty protect. I'm just going to grab another card just to double check that. Is Pisces, if Pisces choose to avoid that drama, will Pisces be a-okay? I just want to double check for you guys, all right? Yeah, so we're getting the communication card. So you're just going to be hearing about all this. They're going to be talking, like there's going to be a lot of conversations and talking about all this happening, but I don't feel like it's going to affect you directly. On the bottom of the deck, I've got the anchor. So you are quite secure and stable. You're held in place. You're all good, Pisces. But, I feel as though this is just going to be, the conversations, there may be like some if you are, that you might be seeing emails with people fighting and messages where people are fighting with each other, all those sorts of things. There might be some sort of financial fighting going on around you. But like I said, I don't feel like it's not you directly. You're stable, you're secure, Pisces. So, just making sure that we're not, holding on to any resentments from your past financial situations, because, when we are holding on to resentment, it's going to actually allow us to be dragged into those things. But it's a very sort of letting us know, don't let yourself be dragged into anything like that. Make a conscious decision that you do not want to be involved in anything like that, because I feel that for anyone that does get involved in this situation, it's not going to be the best. All right, so making sure you're not getting involved. So if you are seeing those sort of communications going on between other people, stay out of it, Pisces. It's not your circus, not your monkeys, all right? I think it's just going to be something that you're just going to be watching this office drama unfolding kind of thing, and you're choosing to walk right on around that, and I'm just going to stay over here and watch, because this is going to be a show. All right, it's going to be quite interesting, but let me know in the comments, guys, how that plays out, because yeah. Like I said, it's going to be one of them things where you're just going to be sitting back going, I'm so glad I chose to not get involved in that, because I feel like the repercussions from whatever that is not going to be the best. All right. So someone may even lose their job. So someone that you work with may even lose their job from all this. All right. But you don't want that to be you. All right. So thank you all so much for your time today, and hopefully I will see you all again soon.